Good afternoon, Whispers, and welcome back to another fabulous episode of Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. My name is Sonia LeRae. I'm a lifestyle counselor, fashion psychologist, and naturopathic practitioner, but I'm always honored to say that I am your host, and it is so good to be back in our safe zone here in the Whisperers Lounge. I have to tell you, this week has been packed, so I am so grateful to be in here, to be able to kind of kick back, relax a little bit, and to get into our discussion. And Whispers, make sure that you are subscribed to our fabulous newsletter, The Whispers Exchange, because we have great content in there, but also our broadcasting schedule has already gone live because 'tis the season. So we really want to make sure that you're aware of what our broadcasting dates are, when we'll be off the air, because we love to keep you informed with a little bit of everything. So make sure that you subscribe to our fabulous newsletter, The Whispers Exchange. And don't forget, Podbean always has our back. They have done something fabulous by placing a live chat box into each of our episodes. So feel free to drop your comments, your questions. Show your girl a little love in the chat box. Drop emojis or some beans in there for me because I love to monitor a great chat box. So today we are going to have such a fabulous discussion. And we give dignity and grace inside of our chat box. We always want to keep this a safe zone. So I don't want to neglect to say that as well. But today's discussion is so powerful that during our pre-show, we had an interview and it was so wonderful. And even speaking about this discussion today, I had stated that this is a conversation that young people that are in that middle school getting ready to transition into high school, and high schoolers who are about to transition into college, and even young or those that are established in college should be listening to, because this discussion is that powerful. So, I love to start each and every one of our discussions off with a clear meaning or definition. And this is no different. So, we're going to get the meaning or the definition of mirror effect. So, our discussion today is about the mirror effect, what others learn about themselves from you. So, today we're going to get the meaning of mirror effect. So that means unconsciously mimic or reflect the behaviors and emotions of those around you. Okay, let me give you that one more time. So today's word that we're really coming to understand and we're breaking down today is mirror effect. So that means unconsciously mimic or reflect the behaviors and emotions of those around you. Whispers, I want to pose a soulful challenge today that will make you sit upright and reflect deeply. Okay, so I'm really starting this episode off on a high. So, what are you showing others about themselves just by being you? Let me put it to you again. What are you showing others about themselves just by being you? See, you're not just out here living your life in a vacuum. You are actually a mirror. And whether you know it or not, people are learning how to feel, behave, react, believe, and love by what you do and by which you do. Now, I know that kind of sounded odd, but it's true. We teach people the way to treat others by the way we treat ourselves and the things that we do. Now, everybody has heard that statement before. And that's nothing unusual, it's nothing uncommon. Like I said, we've heard that before. But you see, today's discussion, we're peeling back the layers of the mirror effect, that sacred place, or that powerful exchange where others begin to confront, heal, or hide based on what they see reflected in you. Now, I told you, This is a powerful discussion, and you may even hear me rustling a few papers because you don't even know. I came in here, and as I prepare for each of our shows, I go over my notes, but I've added notes to this discussion that I want to even bring in to really layer this even uh, deeper, and even that we can kind of get a better view of what this topic is about. So I want us to get into the real, raw, and insightful conversation about how you influence people just by being present, and how that influence can either align or damage relationships, communities, and even your own self image. And I'm even going to bring out something with regards to how it can damage your own self image, even by speaking into something that has happened recently in pop culture. And some of you all maybe even fans of this person and all. So we're going to even get into some of that today too, because I think we have to touch on all of these different things to really be able to peel back the layers and having such a powerful topic like this. So I want to do something different in this discussion. I want to build this discussion around our master keys, though. And for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time or just hearing me for the first time and not understanding why I give out master keys, well, let me tell you why I do this. I give out master keys because they allow us to open up the hallways, the corridors, and the secret compartments of our heart and our mind. And now I noticed I said that the secret compartments, because see, those are compartments that only you are aware of. Now, some of your dear close friends may feel that they know your secret apartments, but they don't. These are areas that only YOU are privy to. But see, the other powerful essence of these keys is this. They also allow us to shut out the inner and outer noise, or even the noise around us, the chatter of friends or different ones that keep us from moving forward, keep us from really showing up the way that we want to, or even stepping in, stepping over, or developing into the purpose that we are driven to or called to, even. So that's how powerful these master keys are. So, with that being said, Whisperers, I want us to really lean into our first master key. And the first master key is this: you are always teaching even when you're not speaking. Ooh, let me give it to you again. So, the first master key is this: you are always teaching even when you are not speaking. Even when you are not speaking. So, I want to take you back when I worked with a VP at a top media company. And this client was confused why her team was so closed off emotionally and lacking in creativity, lacking in trust, lacking in connection, even. And I asked my client one question, just one very powerful question. What do they see when they look at you? Now, imagine how that vibrated and how that was received, even. What do they see when they look at you? Whispers, literally, she had to pause for a second. She was just kind of blown away that I even asked this. And then admitted, I don't let anyone see me sweat. I keep it all business, and I'm always very aesthetic. I'm very cut and dry, and I keep it business. And I said, exactly. Her team wasn't untrusting, they were mirroring her guardedness, her inability to engage. Her silence taught them vulnerability isn't safe here, and it isn't wanted, nor is it welcomed. Now, you see how powerful that is? Because sometimes how you present yourself is how people will start to respond and start to react, even. So I told you that, actions and different things speak louder than words. And I told you, even in right now in pop culture, there is something that is happening with a big name artist who is acting out of character, even though we know that she's been a mean girl before. She said some nasty things regarding people. But then on top of it, her association, meaning her followers, the people that like her, are behaving in the same manner, attacking people's children, saying ugly statements. It's because they are mirroring the effects of that person. They are actually producing what that person is producing. And that's an energy that of negativity. See, Whisperers, we teach people how to show up for themselves by how we show up for ourselves. And I want to tell you about my team, and even my publicist can attest to this because he is a part of my family. Notice how I refer to them as family. And that's what my team is. They are my family. I treat them with the deepest respect. I value them. When they go through very challenging situations, such as a parent being sick, themselves battling an illness, or just not being in the right headspace at the right time or whatever, I am there for them and I'm just as nurturing and I pour into them the same way. And I show up for them. And so, in vice versa, they show up and show out for me each and every day. I'm able to come in and really do my job and be present in our show, in the Whispers Lounge, because I have the right people around me. And even outside of my company, I have the right people around me. I center myself with the right people. And I tell you all the time that you have to guard your energy. But in guarding your energy does not mean that you lop off and become something that no one even is familiar with, or they start to find this cog of a person who is just this aesthetic of, oh, just gotta go, I'm a robot. That's not how we are. That's not what we're meant to be or how we're meant to be. See, Whispers, people mirror the behaviors that I have placed in my space, in my place and space around me. And they show up the same way that I show up. So are people showing up the same way that you are showing up? Or is it that you think they're showing up differently and actually they're really mirroring what you're really presenting? See, it means that we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to look at it from that bird's eye view that I always speak about. Transparency is something that is needed. And I really heard a statement that transparency is a mask. No, it is a reality. It is a reality of authenticity because it allows you to really come into a space and place in an authentic, natural, real manner. And that's how powerful it is. Our clients even show up and they're always so blown away about the care that they receive. And they feel as if they're the only ones that are being serviced or with our group, even. And we know that's just not the case. But I'm so grateful that they feel that way. How do people feel around you? Do they feel seen? Do they feel heard? Do they feel nurtured? Or do they feel that you are overlooking them or talking past them or over them or through them even? See, this discussion is powerful. This discussion requires that introspection, that deep look into ourselves. See, that mirror effect, it actually works as a two-way mirror that we see ourselves while we also see others that are mirroring the different things that we are doing, saying, and presenting. But you realize that leads us into our second master key. And the second master key is people will project their growth edges through you. Let me say that again. I stumbled on that. I'm sorry. I actually had like a little gnat that's like, one of those little chi bugs that just irritates you. People will project their growth edges through you. When someone cannot celebrate you, it's not always jealousy. So I want you to hear me on this. So when people sometimes cannot celebrate you, it's not always jealousy. It can actually be discomfort because sometimes your confidence, peace, or joy reflects what they've denied in themselves. They've held themselves back so that when you are doing certain things and you are having that success and you are moving forward, or there's joy, or there's something that is really relevant in the confidence in that space and place that's vibrating at a higher decimal, they're uncomfortable with it because they're not able to be there or to even accept that as their identity or placing it into a space of recognition. So, question: have you ever met someone that just couldn't acknowledge that they did something well? Have you ever met anyone like that? Maybe they play it down or pretend as if it was nothing. And when it was really something, and something major, and something just fabulous and beautiful. You know, I've been on different stages, also hosted several different discussions, and I've worked with many clients that tell me that people always say, I'm too much, but I'm not even doing anything, they'll say. I'm not doing anything, but I'm constantly told that I'm being too much. Well, let me give you some facts here. Confidence actually activates people's insecurities. So if no one ever told you that before, let me be the first to tell you that confidence activates people's insecurities. But here's the twist: your light doesn't dim their worth. Your light does not dim their worth. If you need to come back and hear this, this is right at the 1722 marker, okay? That your light does not dim their worth, it reveals their own shadows. Their shadows, meaning their limits, their limitations. Your light doesn't dim their worth, it reveals their own shadows. And that's what the mirror effect does. It shines a light on what's undealt with or what's lacking, even. So you are a bright beacon that is showing and shining at people in such a dynamic way. And if you're a young person listening to this and you're trying to get your footage and you're being told like, "Oh, you're so extra." No, you're not being extra. You are just being you. You are just being bright. You are being that energy that you're called to be. And sometimes those around you are not in that packaging. You may be 100-watt bulb, but they put you in a 60-watt package. And that's not where you're supposed to be. Your bulb is shining bright. And so it requires of us to look at these things and to realize certain things and stop limiting ourselves because of fear that we may project ourselves or even be seen in such a dynamic way. Let me tell you, growing up, my mother always used to say, "So be you. Be you. Be unapologetically yourself. Because if you ever lose yourself, you will have the hardest time to get you back." She always, always told us that, and always fortified that message in me all the time. And so in turn, that's why I feel that I can mirror and I can project such light that it attracts others and that it even calls them in to even put themselves up there and to be that radiant light. I have a lot of business associates that work with me and that are close to me. I have a lot of associates that are on social media and they're really kind of engaged. We get to engage with each other. And all of them speak about the energy and the light that I give off, and how they just love being in my presence and being able to just kind of come in and show up and be themselves and just to be celebrated in that space and place. I love being that way. I love seeing them in their element. There's a young lady on social media. Her name is Lori, but she goes by Miss Manifest. And she teaches people different things about social media. I love her energy. I love how she's authentically herself, but she's coming in and she's bringing a different element to what she is teaching, even leveling people up to make money in a different way. And I'm celebrating her each and every day that I get to see her online, because that's what this is, that we have the mirror effect. Are you attracting that light to you, or are you attracting negativity to you? See, it's a powerful essence. But see, in that essence, it leads us into our third master key. And that third master key is relationships mirror self perception. Relationships mirror self perception. Meaning this, how people treat you is often a reflection of how they see themselves. But how you respond is a reflection of your growth. So I worked with a client that kept attracting emotionally unavailable partners. Emotionally unavailable partners. So when we unpackage this person's habits, we literally found a pattern of emotional self neglect was taking place. Self neglect. Now, you heard me tell you that we uncovered a pattern, and they were mirroring the emotional unavailability that was practiced internally. And this person was doing this on a daily. So, Whispers, this client didn't need to find better people. They needed to reflect better love habits back into themselves. They needed to love themselves. They needed to see the value in themselves. And once that shift occurred, right? Because there has to be a shift that occurs for you to be able to do this, to be able to mirror it, to even reflect it out to others. That the outer world started to change. It started to pivot. And the attraction for that negativity also changed. And it also, that it started to have the mirroring of an alignment. Because the person realized that they themselves were the problem. They themselves were the obstacle. They themselves are the ones that keep on having all these things and everyone. Well, how is it me? Hello? It starts with you. You know, it's so funny because Michael Jackson sang, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to make a change. And sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to ask ourselves to make a change. Whispers, I tell you, this discussion today is powerful. It is so needed in the climate that we sit in right now. There is a lot of fingers that are being pointing, but unfortunately, there's always three faced right back at you. And some people think they're slick, so they get all the fingers pointed outside, out straight at them, but they don't even realize that thumb is still pointing back at them. Because it's always a space and a place that is going to be about YOU. So many times I hear clients and others I work with in relationship counseling saying constantly, why do I keep attracting the same old, same old? Or you may even find yourself saying, I don't know why I keep getting the same old, why I keep getting the same reaction, or what? Pause, stop. It's because you keep doing the same old habits, the same old tells, the same old behaviors that get mirrored outwardly. It's because you keep redefining but rescripting the same thing. You have a rinse and repeat cycle down to a science. Now, let that sit with you for a second. Let that vibrate with you for just a second. Because that's how powerful this is. That it has to start with ourselves, that we have to look in that mirror. We have to see what is being reflected. Is it that you look in the mirror and you turn around and you just walk away and you forget? Or what is the last thing that you do before you walk out your door? A lot of people have a mirror right by the door so they can just check the reflection, make sure it's okay. Even when you get in your car, you check your mirrors, you make sure that you can see all around your car, you get them adjusted and everything. You even look at yourself, put your sunglasses on, and you're good to go. It requires that we keep checking on ourselves. It requires that we tap into a deeper essence of ourselves, so we can start to really identify what we're looking at in that mirror. So the mirror effect is present. So it reflects more than just your personality. It starts to reveal certain aspects, certain elements, certain behaviors. But see, Whispers, it also takes us into our fourth and final master key. And that fourth master key is this: the mirror can be healing or harmful. You get to choose. You get to choose. The mirror can be healing or it can be harmful, but you get to choose. See, your energy can reflect peace or it can reflect chaos. It can either reflect truth or it can actually have confusion. It can have encouragement or it can lead with ego. What you mirror doesn't have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. But why? Why? Because perfection isn't healing, it's harmful and leads to unrealistic expectations. And I constantly tell you that you are perfectly imperfect and you will get that right each and every time. So expectations of perfection are unrealistic. See, it's so funny because as a singer, you're taught certain things with your voice. And now you can practice and not have a voice teacher, and you will actually perfect a great mistake. And you will do it just constantly doing it incorrectly. And you will get it down to a science. But then you get with a voice teacher or a voice coach, and they start listening to you and you start going into it. And lo and behold, you go into where you have rehearsed this perfect mistake because you have rehearsed it to a T. And they say, oh, no, wait, stop, go back. Sing that verse again. You sing the verse and you sing it exactly the same. And they go, mm-mm. Now, when you go into here, you have to do this so this note opens up because it's pulling down. And now they're teaching you a new way, but because you have rehearsed that wrong way so long, see that mirror effect? You see the mirror effect. You've rehearsed it so long that you've gotten it so down packed. It's the same thing, that perfection isn't healing, it's harmful, and it leads to unrealistic expectations. But it should be intentional. And I tell you when things are intentional, that we do it for intention. It has an aim, purpose, and a direction. Every person in your life is catching glimpses of themselves through you. Now, I will tell you that there are some people that are not willing to make the necessary changes. They are not willing. And many people in that space and place have that victim mindset, that they are always the victim, that they are unduly done, well, guess what? Unfortunately, many people that are around them have the same mindset and same thing, and they cater and they mirror and reflect the same attitude, same presence. And guess what? Neither can vibrate at a decimal that will elevate the other. They are stuck in a rotation and at a level that is constantly pulling down. So in turn, when we're looking at this and we're looking in that mirror and we see certain elements about ourselves, are we going to be honest and say, hey, wait, whoa, pause. Now, let me tell you all something. As a mirror person, a person who reflects and looks in the mirror at self. And I always tell you guys, I'm always a little transparent about a little bit of anything and everything. I used to tell you guys that I really had like a temper that was like 0 to 60, 2.34 seconds as a younger person. And I really had to work on myself because I was in a space and a place that it was reflecting, and also I was attracting certain people that had anger issues, and I was like, what is wrong with you? But then I had to look at myself and had to be honest about that. And so I had to start making those necessary changes in that space. And even my friends will tell you I'm a so different person from what I was. And I try to keep it kind of held down. Now, it doesn't mean that I get it right each and every time, because there are circumstances that sometimes I can pop off with. Yes, of course. That's all of us. But am I honest enough to say, look, I'm not going to allow myself to be put in those circumstances? So, which means in turn, I'm willing to look and reflect and to really see inside that mirror. So I start to reflect light, that I start to attract others that are mild, that are diplomatic, that have a way of working through things without anger, tension, or having retaliation or any of those sort of things. And that's what it requires of us, Whisperers. It requires of us to really take a deep look into the mirror, a piercing look into the mirror. So, what you mirror doesn't have to be perfect. We got that established. The way you celebrate others, the way you correct them, the way you support them, it's a masterclass in emotional wellness, making it count. So let's recap the master keys, okay? Because I said this discussion was really layered. It had a lot of layers. We went through it, and I told you I wanted to build it around our master keys, that it fortified us. So please get your proverbial keychains out. Do not throw them in the bottom of your bag. Do not throw them in your backpack. Fellas, don't put them in the trunk. Slam the trunk down and keep it moving. No, do not throw them in your gym bag. Keep them handy. Keep them handy. So to recap our master keys, 1, you are always teaching even when you're not speaking. We are always teaching even when we're not speaking, because people are watching you, watching your behaviors, watching the mannerisms, seeing how you're dealing with things, how you're not dealing with things. Number 2, people will project their growth edges through you, meaning that they will start to bring things forward because now they are emulating and they are mirroring the things that you have done, things that you have said, how you've encouraged them, how you have walked through and you have accepted certain things. Okay, well, this wasn't for me today, but next week, hey, look, there's a whole nother story. See how powerful that is. Number 3, relationships mirror self perception. So, are we treating ourselves well? Are we loving ourselves? Are we treating ourselves with respect? Are we giving ourselves dignity? Or are we the wash and repeat family friend that we constantly are recycling, and that's why we're getting the same old, same old? And the last is the mirror can be healing or harmful. You get to choose. You get to choose peace over chaos. You get to pick truth over confusion, encouragement over ego. You get to choose. Now that's powerful, whisperers. See, these master keys are important and they work congruently with all the other keys that you have received thus far this season. Every episode has led up to this episode. And so if you're missing any of the master keys, go back and pick them up. Go back and pick them up. I love being able to birth really such beautiful and dynamic discussions as this. And literally our time like goes by so fast with each other that sometimes I wonder, like, should I even be producing a longer segment? But I feel like I pour out and I birth so much in this discussion that I don't want it to be overwhelming, because we want to be able to really step up into the material, the information, the master keys. Because sometimes we need a moment to really let it vibrate at a decimal that we can hear and we can receive. I build out these discussions and I tell you all the time that it isn't just for you, it's even for me. Because even in working up things and different things that I've worked through with clients and bring forward in our topics, it's a fortification for self. So imagine if you come back, or even if you share the episode with someone who needs to hear it, and you guys meet up for lunch and you're talking about certain points, or maybe they heard a point that you might have missed, and lo and behold, it's like, yo, I didn't hear that. But you see now, that reflection, that mirror effect is starting to sharpen. Iron sharpens iron. And that's how powerful this is. So before we get off the air and close off for today, I want to give you a few broadcasting notes, and I want to share some things with you all because, like I said, we are in a place and a space in the climate that we're in right now. So many people are faced with so many different uncertainties, and even as far as it goes, feeding their families, even. So we're 2 episodes away from taking a short break for Thanksgiving. So we won't have a show for November the 28th. And matter of fact, just to let you know, since we have our show on Thursday for Whispers in a Bottle, the Noon Vibe edition, we won't have a show the 27th or the 28th because that's back to back. That's Thursday and Friday. And we'll return on December the 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to keep bringing that forward. I'm going to keep reminding you of this, but the best thing you could do is subscribe to our newsletter, to the Whispers Exchange, because I'm telling you, you'll be updated. You'll get all the different topics. You get the featured mocktail of the episodes, different resources that we're going to be giving out throughout this time as well. So when I was speaking before about a resource that I have available and that I know of that possibly can even help you or help loved ones that may be faced with some, financial difficulties, because that's the thing. A lot of people are faced with financial difficulties right now. And you may know even a family member that is not receiving their SNAP benefits. So there's an app on your phone that is called Too Good, with that's TOO Good to Go. So it's TOO Good TO Go. It's Too Good to Go. And what it is that it's a beautiful app that has partnered with many restaurants, and it's the latest and the greatest surplus food in your area. So literally, I have a lot of business contacts, a lot of different associates that have tried the app out. I've tried it out myself. It's wonderful and it's good products. They're not giving garbage. They're not giving, things that should be thrown in the trash. It's quality products. A matter of fact, I'll tell you guys, I ordered from a Jewish deli that is not far from us, and we actually love the deli. But our first time ordering, we got our surprise bag, because that's what it's called, a surprise bag. And they had such beautiful things inside of the bag, such beautiful bagels and pastry and different things that you can really feed your family with. So please feel free to tap into that. We're even going to put a link to Too Good to Go even inside of the description box of this episode. And we're going to share it over on our Instagram page. So feel free to follow us over at whispersinabottle_podcast. And if you would like to, please have me on one of your shows as a guest or a guest speaker or a host for your event, please feel free to tap into my fabulous publicist. His name is Trey Bump. You can reach him at info@whispersinabottlepodcast.com. Once again, that's info@whispersinabottlepodcast.com. And don't forget, you can always listen to the replay of our show right here on Podbean or wherever you get your podcast. And, just make sure that you're following along with us. So, I like to always leave you something in closing too. And in closing, I'd like to say that your life is a living reflection. And people are literally adjusting their posture, their self-worth, and belief based on what they see in you. And if you're ready to stop living, unconsciously and start sharpening the mirror or even shaping the mirror or polishing the mirror you hold to others, it's time that you and I, have a talk. Because sometimes you need that support. Sometimes you need that help. And I tell you constantly that my calendar is available inside of each and every description box. Book a strategy session. Because sometimes we need that help to be able to reflect the light properly. So with that being said, Whisperers, it's always good to be in our safe zone, always to bring forth beautiful discussions like this. You have been listening to Whispers in a Bottle, Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays, a clear voice amongst the noise. Don't forget to join me again next week right here in our home network on Podbean at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. My name is Sonia Loray. I'm a lifestyle counselor, fashion psychologist, and naturopathic practitioner, but I'm always honored to say that I am your host. And please don't forget to be safe, to share the resources that we're sharing out, and also to show compassion to others. All right, guys, have a great day. Have a nice weekend, too. I'll see you next week.